Mira wiped down the last table of the night at Nova Diner, a small, quiet place in Neo-Tokyo 9. Outside, the streets buzzed with flying cars, neon lights, and distant hums of megacity life. Inside, soft music played while blue lights flickered. Above the booth's dot, it was a slow night. Just one customer remained sitting alone at the back, looking out the window with a faraway look. He wore a black coat and had tired eyes. His name was Tomas, though most people didn't recognize him, but Myra did. Tomas was one of Earth's youngest tech millionaires. He had built quantum systems that ran city grids, security walls, even some of the upper orbit satellites. Rich, famous, and quiet. Most rich people never came to a place like this, but Tomas had been visiting every Friday night for the last month. Mira noticed things others didn't. She was careful, thoughtful. She had learned not to talk too much, but sometimes silence hid things that needed to be said. As she refilled his cup of synth coffee, she hesitated. "Sir," she said softly, "can I say something strange?" Tomas looked up, his eyes scanning her face. "Go ahead." "I know this isn't my place," she continued, "but I've seen someone who looks like your wife. She comes here every Wednesday." Tomas raised an eyebrow. "This place?" She nodded. "She always meets the same man. They sit in booth 6, same booth every time." Tomas didn't speak. He just stared at her. "I thought maybe it was just someone who looks like her," Mira said quickly. "But the way she talks, the way she holds her cup, I think it's her. She never orders food, neither does the man." Still, Tomas said nothing. "And there's one more thing," Mira added. "They don't blink." Tomas frowned. "What do you mean?" "I've watched them for over an hour. They sit close, whispering, but their faces stay still. No blinking, no movement. Like they're pretending." Mira felt nervous. She wasn't the type to get involved in someone's personal life. But something about those meetings felt wrong. Tomas finally spoke. "And you're sure?" "I didn't want to believe it either," she said. "But I have security footage, if you want to see it." He looked at her, unsure. Then he nodded. "Once, show me." Mira pulled out a small hollow chip from her apron pocket. "I copied it, just in case." Tomas took the chip, placed it on the table, and activated his personal display. The footage lit up in front of him, projected above the table like a silent ghost. He watched closely. There she was, Laura, his wife, dressed in a sleek coat, her dark hair tied back, sitting across from a tall man with silver eyes. They leaned in close, talking, but their lips moved oddly, in short, robotic patterns. There was no food on the table. They sat still like statues. Mira was right, they didn't blink. Not once. Tomas ended the video. For a moment, the only sound in the diner was the soft clink of dishes in the kitchen. "Do you know who the man is?" Tomas asked. "No," Myra said, "but I checked our ID logs. His name doesn't come up. No credit records, no entry logs, nothing." Tomas stared at the holochip again. "I'm sorry," Mira said quietly. "I didn't want to get involved. But something feels wrong." "You did the right thing," Tomas said, standing up. "You may have just saved my life." Mira blinked. "What do you mean?" But Tomas was already walking toward the exit, before he stepped out into the night. He turned back. "Mira, be careful." Then he was gone. The next morning, Tomas sat alone in his private lab. It was located in the top floor of a black glass tower, shielded from signals and invisible to most drones. Only his AI assistant, Bren, shared the room. "Bren," he said, "scan this video. Tell me what you see." The AI responded with a calm voice. "Analyzing now." A few seconds passed. Then Bren said, "The two individuals in the video show unusual behavior. No facial muscle movement, no micro expressions, no blinking. Heartbeat and heat signatures are consistent, but artificial." "Artificial?" Tomas repeated. Yes, Bren confirmed. They may not be human. Tomas sat still. He felt cold. Like a machine had turned off inside his chest. She's not cheating, he said softly. She's hiding. He looked out the window, watching the city lights flicker. Then he whispered, "What are you, Laura?" Back at the diner, Mira closed her locker after her shift. She stepped outside into the night, her breath forming small clouds in the air. She looked up at the sky, at the stars beyond the dome, and wondered what she had just stepped into. As she walked toward the transport station, a black car stopped beside her. The window rolled down, but no one was inside. A mechanical voice said, "Come with us." Mira's eyes widened, and then the door opened by itself. Tomas sat in his personal office, surrounded by dark walls lined with silent machines. The room was cold, filled with glowing screens and blinking lights. On one of the displays, the video of Laura and the stranger played again in a loop. Each time he watched, he noticed something new. The way the man moved too perfect. The way Laura smiled empty, without warmth. And yes, no blinking, not once. Tomas rubbed his forehead. "Bren, give me a deep scan." His AI assistant Bren answered calmly. "Scanning for behavior patterns. Abnormal speech rhythm detected. Code fragments and voice modulation. Possibly. Encrypted communication." "Decrypt it," Tomas ordered. "It may take time," Bren replied. "The code is not Earth-based." Tomas stared at the screen. "Then it's true," he said softly. "She's not human anymore." He stood and walked toward a silver panel on the wall. He pressed his palm against it. A secret drawer opened, revealing a small black case. Inside was a set of micro-drones, each no bigger than a coin. "Deploy them to the house," he said. The drones shot silently out the window, invisible to the naked eye. Back at his home, Laura stood on the balcony. She held a glass of red liquid, watching the city below. She seemed calm, peaceful. But Tomas saw it all through his hidden drones. From his screen, Tomas watched her closely. Bren's voice spoke again. "Recording audio feed from bedroom unit." A small voice filled the room. Laura speaking. "I believe Tomas suspects. We may need to move early," another voice replied. It was low, with a strange echo. "He is only one human. He cannot stop us." Tomas leaned closer. "Zoom in on the speaker." The camera shifted, revealing the silver-eyed man Raul standing in the corner of the room. He had no visible ID. His heat signature read colder than normal. His voice was controlled and emotionless. "He's not even trying to hide anymore." Tomas whispered. Bren said, "No record of subject in global systems. No birth data, no medical files, not human." Tomas sat back. His mind raced. Why would aliens be in my house? Why pretend to be my wife? Before he could speak again, the camera feed went black. "Error," Bren said. "House system offline." "Drones blocked." Tomas stood. "They know I'm watching." That night, Tomas didn't sleep. He moved to a safe room below his lab deep underground. There, protected from tracking and signals, he worked alone. On a large table lay hundreds of files, images, and old recordings. He searched for similar cases, people acting strangely, hiding in plain sight. One case showed a politician who suddenly vanished after making strange speeches. Another, a famous singer who stopped aging. All their loved ones said the same thing: they changed. One day, they were no longer themselves. And in every photo, Tomas noticed something else. No blinking. He whispered to himself, "They've been here longer than we thought." Somewhere far below the surface of the city, Mira opened her eyes. She was strapped to a chair inside a dark metal room. The walls were smooth and cold. A strange green light filled the air. Her head hurt. A voice echoed. "You saw too much." She turned. The man with silver eyes, Raul, stood before her. His face was calm, his hands behind his back. "What are you?" she asked. He tilted his Head, we are the next step. Your kind was meant to sleep. I won't stay quiet, Mira said. Tomas knows. He'll stop you. You think one human can stop a plan designed over decades? Raul smiled. He doesn't even understand what's coming. Suddenly, a high-pitched noise rang through the room. Raul looked up. She activated a beacon, a second voice said. Others may track this signal. Raul moved to a panel and touched it. The room faded into darkness again. Mira felt cold. But inside her mind, she remembered Tomas's eyes when he took the holochip. He would not stop. He was already searching, and maybe, just maybe. That was enough. In his lab, Tomas ran every face scan, voice clip, and heat map again. The data didn't lie. Laura was gone. Something had replaced her, but the question remained why. Then Bren spoke. Sir, satellite scan shows abnormal activity. Energy spike detected in sub-level 7 of the city. Coordinates match Myra's last known location. Tomas stood fast. Show me. A 3D map opened. Below the diner, through layers of city structure, an unknown power source flickered. Not part of any system Tomas had seen before. She's down there, he said. And so are they. He opened another drawer. Inside was a small device shaped like a disc. EMP grenade, he said. Test model. Might reveal their real forms. He pocketed it and grabbed a secure headset. Bren, lock this building. No signals in or out unless I approve. Confirmed, Bren said. As Tomas stepped into the elevator, he said one last thing. I'm not just saving Mira, I'm finding out the truth. Far below, Raul stared into a black screen as data flowed past it. The human is active, a voice behind him said. Raul nodded. He's smarter than expected. What do? We do? We observe. Then we erase him. Tomas moved through the dark tunnels beneath the city. These were old maintenance routes, long forgotten by most people. Dust hung in the air, and the lights flickered as if warning him to turn back. He didn't. Bren's voice came through his earpiece. You are now 300 meters from Myra's last signal. Any life signs? Tomas asked. None human, Bren answered. But movement is detected. Proceed with caution. Tomas gripped the EMP disc in his pocket. It was small, no bigger than a coin. But if it worked, it could disable alien tech or expose their real form. He walked deeper into the tunnel, each step echoing behind him. Water dripped from above, and strange marks were scratched into the walls. They looked like writing, but not in any human language. Bren, scan these symbols. The AI replied after a moment. Unknown script. Closest match found in deep space probe scans from Jupiter's third moon. Language origin. Non-Earth. Tomas took a photo and kept walking. Then he saw it. Mira's broken wristwatch lying near the edge of a metal door. Blood, just a small trace, was smeared across the floor. He knelt down and touched the door. It was ice-cold. Suddenly, the metal shifted. A hidden scanner lit up and tried to scan his face. Access denied, it said. But Tomas was ready. He pulled out a small black chip and placed it on the scanner. Bren had hacked into city records and copied Raul's fake ID. Signal earlier. The door opened slowly. Inside was a wide room filled with machines, glowing tanks, and strange cables running through the floor. A green light pulsed like a heartbeat. Tomas stepped inside quietly, and then he saw her Myra unconscious, strapped to a strange chair connected to wires. Her chest rose and fell slowly. She was alive, but he wasn't alone. Raul stood near a control panel, his silver eyes focused on a large screen. Tomas froze. He didn't move or breathe. Then Raul turned. You came, he said. Tomas didn't reply. His hand slowly reached for the EMP disc. I knew you would, Raul continued. Curiosity is a flaw in your kind. Where's my wife? Tomas asked. Raul tilted his head. Gone. She served her purpose. Her body helped us enter this world. Now it is ours. Tomas's jaw tightened. You're not welcome here. Raul took a step forward. You humans never understand. We don't need your permission. Earth is not yours anymore. It never was. Tomas threw the MP disc. A flash of blue light burst across the room. The machine sparked. Lights flickered. Raul let out a sharp cry. As his skin began to melt like wax for a moment, Tomas saw the truth. Raul's human face vanished. Underneath was a smooth gray head with 4 black eyes and no mouth. Its skin shimmered like liquid metal. The creature hissed, then fell backward, systems failing. Tomas ran to Mira and pulled off the wires. She gasped and opened her eyes. You found me. Can you walk? He asked. I think so. Suddenly, alarms blared. More doors opened. Footsteps echoed from every direction. They're coming, Mira whispered. Tomas held her arm. Let's move. He dragged her through the lab, passing tanks filled with human bodies, some sleeping, some half-changed. Their faces were blank, and machines hummed quietly beside them. What are they doing here? Tomas asked. Replacing us, Mira said weakly. They copy our forms one at a time. Tomas's heart pounded. How long has this been happening? Decades. Maybe longer. No one listened, until now. They reached the exit tunnel, but 2 creatures appeared, blocking the way. Their human forms flickered as they moved, revealing glimpses of their real shapes. Tomas raised a small blaster he had hidden in his coat. It wasn't strong, but it bought them time. He fired, and 1 creature fell. The other leapt forward, but Mira, still weak, grabbed a pipe and hit it hard. The aliens screeched and collapsed. They ran down the tunnels, up broken stairs, out through a grate into the cold air of the city night. Mira collapsed on the sidewalk, breathing fast. Tomas knelt beside her and pulled out a cum device. Bren. He said, we're out. Got a drone here, now. Already inbound, Bren replied. Within seconds, a black drone dropped from the sky and opened. Tomas helped Mira inside, and they rose into the night sky. Through the window, he looked down at the city. So many people, so many who didn't know what was walking among them. Back in his lab, Tomas placed Mira on a medical bed while Bren scanned her for injuries. She was stable. Tomas turned to the display. He loaded the video of Raul's transformation. It was clear, direct evidence. Bren asked, what will you do now? Tomas stared at the screen. They replaced my wife. They tried to take Mira, and they think we're weak. He pressed a button, opening files from Myra's stolen research. No more hiding, he said. It's time to fight back. Tomas stood in front of the large screen inside his lab. On it played the video of Raul's transformation again, this time in slow motion. Frame by frame, it showed the alien shape breaking free from the fake human skin. The face peeled back, the eyes turned black, and the voice shifted into something that didn't belong on Earth. Mira sat nearby on a medical bed, weak but alert. Her arm was bandaged, and a thin wire connected her to the scanner above. Bren monitored her health silently. This proof is enough, Tomas said. Once the right people see it, they'll understand. Mira shook her head. No, they won't believe it. The aliens already control some of them. You don't know who to trust. Tomas looked at her. Then we start small, quietly, build a team. Fight from the shadows. Mira nodded. That's our only chance. He turned back to Bren. Status of our home network? Fully secure, the eye replied. No outside signals can access us. Surveillance systems have been cleaned. Backup. Power is running. Tomas took a deep breath. Good, time to face her. Mira sat up straight. You mean Laura? Tomas nodded slowly. Whatever's wearing her face. I want to look it in the eyes. That evening, Tomas returned to his mansion. The long glass walls glowed under the city lights. Everything looked the same, but something felt different. The silence was heavier. Laura was waiting for him in the living room, sitting calmly, legs crossed, holding a book she never used to read. She smiled. "You're home early." Tomas forced a nod. "I had to check on something." She stood up and walked toward him. "You've been distant lately. Is something wrong?" He looked into her eyes, beautiful, perfect, and empty. "I could ask." "You the same," he replied. Laura tilted her head slightly. "You seem stressed." "I am," Tomas said, "because I know the truth." Her smile faded just a little. "You're not Laura," he said clearly. "Not anymore." The room went quiet. Then she sighed. "Ah," she said. "So you finally see it." The smile disappeared completely. Her voice changed slightly deeper, colder. "What did you do with her?" Tomas asked. "She was used." The fake Laura replied. "Her memories helped us. Her face gave us access. Her voice made you trust." "Why me?" Tomas asked. "Why target my life?" "You built the networks," she said. "You created the systems that Earth runs on. You connected the satellites, the security lines, the drones. You were a key." Tomas felt his chest tighten. "So this was all a plan from the beginning?" She nodded. "Many plans. We've taken others too. You were just the important one." Tomas took a step back. "Well, I'm not on your side." "No," she said. "That's why we'll erase you." Suddenly she moved fast, but Tomas was ready. He pressed the button in his pocket. A high-frequency pulse filled the room. Laura froze mid-step, body twitching. Her skin began to flicker. For a few seconds, her real shape was visible, a smooth gray face with sharp black eyes. Then she collapsed. Tomas stood over her. "You used her, but you won't use anyone else." Back at the lab, Tomas placed Laura's inactive body inside a containment chamber. Mira stood beside him, holding a tablet. "She's not dead," Mira said. "Just frozen." The pulse locked her systems. "I want to know how many more like her are out there," Tomas said. "I want names, faces, locations." Mira showed him the tablet. "This is what I found in the alien systems before they shut me out. It's incomplete, but there's a list. Targets, replaced individuals." Tomas scanned the list. Some names he recognized: business leaders, media hosts, even a space agency commander. "How long have they been doing this?" he asked. "Since before the last Mars mission," Mira said. "Maybe longer." Tomas clenched his fist. "They're building a network across Earth, quietly, slowly, replacing people who control things. We need to break that network," Mira said, "before they activate something bigger." Later that night, Tomas sat alone, thinking. He remembered Laura's laugh before it was taken. He remembered the day they first met, before fame, before money. He whispered, "I should have seen it sooner." Bren spoke softly. "You were not trained to see such deception. They used emotion against you." Tomas looked up. "No more." He stood. "Bren, we're going to track every signal they use. Every time one of them speaks or moves, I want to know." "Understood," the AI said. "And build me a private channel," Tomas continued. "I'm going to send a message. Not to governments, not to police." "To who, sir?" "To people like Mira. People who notice things. People no one listens to." In a forgotten part of the city, a janitor named Leo opened his old cum tablet. It buzzed with a strange new message. "Have you seen someone change? No blinking? No feeling? We believe you. Contact Channel 0. Leo blinked. He had seen something strange last week. He picked up the device. Somewhere across the world, others saw the same message. And one by one, they started replying. The message spread quietly, like a whisper in the wind. Across cities, under domes, in deserts and frozen towns, ordinary people received the signal. "Have you seen someone change? No blinking? No feeling? We believe you. Contact Channel 0. Some deleted it, thinking it was fake. But others remembered strange moments. A coworker who suddenly spoke too perfectly. A friend who stared too long without blinking. A teacher who forgot her own child's name. Those people answered, and slowly, Tomas built his team. Inside the lab, Mira sat at the main console. Her face was still pale, but her eyes had fire. 33 responses in the last hour, she sighed. From 7 different cities, all reporting similar signs. Tomas stood beside her, staring at a map on the screen. Red dots lit up across Earth, each one a possible alien activity report. They're everywhere, he whispered. Mira nodded. We're late, but not too late. Tomas opened a video file. It was a clip from one of the new contacts of security. Guard named Rehan. He had filmed his boss talking to someone in an underground room. The boss's face flickered during the call, showing a split second of something non-human. Tomas watched it twice, then looked at Mira. It's the same pattern. They're replacing people who manage systems, water, energy, transport. They want control, Mira said. Not just people, but everything we need to survive. Bren's voice echoed through the room. There's more, sir. Mira's earlier research file was only part of the alien plan. Show us, Tomas said. A hologram opened. It showed Earth's orbit circles around the planet, blinking slowly. These are satellite points you built, sir, Bren explained. They carry signal relays, AI routing, and data monitoring. Tomas stared. I designed those systems, but only for civilian use. Not anymore, Bren replied. One by one, the satellites have been reprogrammed. Hidden code was added, small, quiet, undetectable until now. Hidden by who? Myra asked. Bren's voice lowered. By someone using your credentials. Tomas turned pale. They've been using my name to hijack the planet's eyes and ears. Mira stood up. Then they can see everything. Every message, every move. But if they had full control, Tomas said, they would have stopped us already. He walked to the far console and pressed a code. A panel opened, revealing a hidden system offline, unplugged, untouched. This is the only backup satellite control I kept secret, he said. We can use this to upload a counter-virus. Mira's eyes lit up. To stop them? No, Tomas said. To reveal them. They called it Project Mirror. It was simple. A virus designed to trigger a small signal across Earth's networks. That signal would disrupt the alien disguises, just for a moment. Just long enough for people to see the truth. Once exposed, the aliens would no longer be able to hide in plain sight. But launching the signal would require direct access to the satellite. Uplink a secure building controlled by the Global Tech Authority. Mira frowned. You said earlier some of the authority leaders were already replaced. Yes, Tomas said. That's why we go in quietly. He opened a side drawer and pulled out 2 black suits, stealth armor lined with soft light shields. We're not going through the front door. That night, Tomas and Mira moved through the shadows of Central Core City. The satellite control tower stood tall, covered with glowing shields and patrolling drones. Most people thought it was just a data relay station. Only a few knew it held the command keys to Earth's sky network. They entered through the old sewer tunnels. Mira led the way, flashlight in hand, while Tomas carried the virus drive in a secure case. Bren, Tomas whispered. Status? Cameras looped, guards redirected. You are clear for 3 minutes. They reached a steel door. Mira hacked the panel. The door opened with a soft hiss. Inside was cold and silent. Blue lights glowed from hundreds of data cables. At the center stood the uplink core, a tall column of rotating metal and light. Tomas stepped forward and connected the virus drive. Suddenly, a voice filled the room. You shouldn't have come. They turned. Real. He wasn't alone. 2 more figures stepped out of the shadows, both in human form, but with the same still, empty eyes. I thought we disabled you, Tomas said. You slowed me down, Raul replied. But I learned, adapted, just like you humans taught us. You used my wife, Tomas growled. We needed her memories to walk among you, Raul said. She was useful. So were you. Not anymore, Tomas said, and pressed the activation. Button. The virus uploaded. Too late. Raul leaped forward. Mira threw a flash bomb. Light burst through the room. Raul screamed. And then the signal reached the satellites. Across Earth, screens flickered. In homes, offices, schools, people stared in shock as some faces around them began to change. News anchor's skin melted briefly into gray. A teacher in front of a class flickered into a four-eyed creature. A businessman at a meeting turned into something alien before dropping and running. People screamed. Cameras recorded everything. The world was waking up. Back at the uplink tower, Raul lay on the floor, twitching. His disguise had failed. His real face stared up, full of hatred. You ruined everything, he hissed. Tomas stepped over him. No, I just reminded Earth to open its eyes, Mira smiled. You lost your biggest weapon, secrecy. Sirens blared outside. Security teams rushed in. But this time, they were human. And this time, they believed. The world had changed overnight. Every screen, phone, and news channel had shown the truth. Aliens were among them, walking in human skin. People saw teachers, officers, even neighbors shift for a second into something terrifying. The disguises broke, if only briefly, but it was enough. Panic spread first, then confusion. But soon, something stronger rose from the fear. Unity. Across the globe, humans began working together. People reported strange behavior. Hidden labs were uncovered. Disguises failed again and again as the virus signal kept pulsing through Earth's networks. And at the center of it all was Tomas. In his lab, Tomas stood beside Mira, looking at a large map on the wall. Dozens of red lights blinked, each one marked a confirmed alien exposure. People are waking up, Mira said. We're not alone anymore, Tomas nodded. But now they'll come for us harder. We made them visible. They won't forgive. That, Bren's voice interrupted. Alert, high energy transmission detected from orbit. Location low Earth space. It's not one of our satellites, Tomas turned quickly. Can you trace the signal? Working on it, Bren replied. It appears to be sending a message. To something beyond Earth, Myra frowned. They're calling reinforcements. Tomas felt a chill in his chest. We forced their hand. He stared at the signal data Bren showed on screen. Strange patterns, not Earth language. Not even code. As humans understood it, but the message was clear. Help us. Earth is waking up. They didn't plan to be discovered yet, Tomas said. Now they want more of their kind to arrive. And if that happens? Mira asked. Tomas looked at her with a serious face. Then Earth becomes a war zone. Later that day, Tomas and Mira met with their new team, ordinary people turned fighters. There was Leo, the janitor who first reported strange behavior in his building. Rayhan, the security guard who had filmed his boss's face change. Sana, a computer student who cracked part of the alien encryption. They gathered inside a hidden bunker, far from city lights. Tomas stood at the front of the room. They tried to take this planet silently, he began. They wore our faces. They used our systems, and we didn't see it. But now we do. The room was quiet. They're not done, he continued. They've sent a signal to space. We believe more of them are coming. If we wait, we lose. So what do we do? Leo asked. Tomas pulled up a screen. It showed a giant dish built into a mountain. Project Helios, an old Earth defense satellite station, unused for years. This was part of Earth's last line of defense during the Martian threat, Tomas said. We shut it down when peace came, but it still works. What does it do? Rayhan asked. It can send a deep space pulse strong enough to scramble anything in orbit, Mira answered. Even alien ships. We'll reboot it, Tomas said. And when their reinforcements come, we'll hit them before they land. The team looked nervous but determined. When do we start? Sana asked. Tomas smiled slightly. Right now. Reaching the Helia station wasn't easy. It was hidden in a cold, snowy mountain range, protected by old defense systems that no longer recognized friend or enemy. Drones patrolled the skies, turrets scanned for heat, and the path was full of ice and broken tech. Tomas led the way in a fast transport ship, piloted by Myra. Inside the ship, the team checked their gear. They had MP grenades, coded tools, light armor, nothing too heavy, but enough to survive a fight. As they flew over the mountains, Bren's voice crackled in, warning. Enemy signals detected. Multiple life forms approaching from the west. They are not human. Mira turned the ship sharply. They found us. Below, dark shapes moved through the snow, fast and silent. They weren't in disguise anymore. The virus had ruined that. Now they showed their true forms, tall, silver-skinned beings with sharp limbs and glowing eyes. They sent soldiers, Tomas said, to stop us from reaching Helios. The transport ship flew low as the team prepared to land. We'll fight our way in, Tomas said. Whatever happens, that station must go online. The team landed near the station entrance. Snow flew around them. Wind howled. Suddenly, laser blasts flew through the sky. The alien soldiers attacked. Tomas and the others ran for cover. Mira fired back with a pulse rifle, hitting one of the creatures in the chest. It dropped, but two more came from behind. Leo threw an EMP grenade. It exploded with blue light, knocking the aliens down. Rayhan opened the station door with Sana's help. Get inside, he yelled. One by one, the team rushed in. Tomas and Mira were the last. Tomas turned and fired one more shot. Then the door slammed shut. Inside, it was dark but safe for now. We have to reach the control room, Tomas said. The team ran through old metal halls, past rusted machines and blinking warning signs. Finally they reached the core, a large, round chamber. At its center, a glowing console waited. Tomas stepped forward and connected a power cell. The lights turned on. The Helios system hummed to life. Myra smiled. It still works. Bren's voice came through Tomas's earpiece. Signal. Ready, awaiting your command. Tomas stared at the console. How long until the alien reinforcements arrive? Less than an hour, Bren replied. They are moving fast. Tomas looked at his team. We only get one chance. He pressed the button. The Helios system began charging, high above Earth. Something stirred. A dark ship unlike anything humans had built moved through the void. It was fast, silent, and full of others like Raul. They had received the call. They were coming, but as they neared Earth's orbit, a wave of energy struck them. The Helios signal hit like lightning. Systems shut down. Controls fried. Engines blinked out. The ship spun, shaking, then exploded into fire and metal. On Earth, people watched the sky flash with red and gold. They didn't know what it was, but Tomas did. He whispered, "They're not landing today." The alien ship exploded high above Earth, its glowing fragments burning in the night sky like a falling star. Across the world, people looked up and watched. Some pointed, others prayed. Most didn't understand what had just happened, but they felt something change. For the first time in years, the fear began to fade. Tomas stood at the edge of the Helios station, watching the sky. Snow fell quietly around him, but the light in his eyes was steady. Mira joined him, wrapping the coat tightly around her. Her face was pale from the cold, but there was a small smile on her lips. "You did it," she said softly. Tomas shook his head. "We did it, all of us, together." Behind them, The team rested inside the station. Leo sat near a heater, checking a pulse rifle. Sana worked with Rehan to keep the old security system running. Everyone was tired, but their eyes were full of fire. They had survived, they had fought back, and they had won, at least for now. By the next morning, news of the event spread quickly. Helios Station had come back online after a decade of silence. Satellite systems showed debris in space. Government leaders were forced to respond, and Tomas didn't stay silent. He uploaded the full truth. The aliens' faces, the infiltration plan, the secret takeover, and how Project Mirror exposed them. Millions watched the footage. The world saw the hidden enemy in full light. There was no denying it anymore. The Earth had been invaded quietly, but it had also fought back. And now, the people were ready. Across countries, humans began organizing. Communities formed local watch groups to find any remaining imposters. Scientists studied alien tech left behind. Engineers rewired systems to protect against future disguise programs. Tomas and Mira became the leaders of the growing resistance. Network. Not by choice, but because people believed in them. They didn't wear uniforms. They didn't speak like generals, but they stood for the truth. Inside his rebuilt lab, Tomas stood in front of a massive hologram showing the planet in real time. Green lights marked safe zones. Yellow lights showed uncertain areas. Red lights, alien strongholds still hidden, blinked slowly. There's still more of them, Tomas said. Mira nodded. But now we know where to look. Bren spoke through the room. I have connected with underground teams in 12 major cities. Channel 0 is now fully secure. That was the waitress's idea, Tomas said, glancing at Myra. She smiled. Sometimes the people who notice the small things can change everything. Tomas turned serious. We can't stop now. They'll come again, Mira agreed. Then we'll be ready. 3 days later, Tomas traveled to the United Nations Dome in New Geneva. It was the first time in years that leaders from across Earth gathered in one place. Security was tight. Every face was scanned. Every visitor tested for disguise failures. Tomas stepped onto the main platform. Cameras blinked. Reporters watched. The crowd grew quiet. He spoke clearly and simply. For years, we were blind. We trusted faces that didn't belong to real people. We let the enemy walk among us while we looked away. He paused. But not anymore. The crowd leaned in. We didn't win because we had better weapons. We didn't win because we had more power. We won because we saw each other. We believed each other, and we stood together. He looked around the room. We are human. And we are not done fighting. Cheers erupted. Even the most silent leaders stood and clapped. Tomas didn't smile. Not yet, but something in his chest felt lighter. That evening, back at the lab, Mira stood alone on the balcony, looking up at the stars. Tomas walked out and stood beside her. Do you think they'll come again? She asked. He nodded. Yes, not today, maybe not this year. But one day, they'll try again. And if they do? Tomas looked into the sky. We'll be ready, and we won't be alone. He turned to Mira. You started this, with just a warning, one small voice. Mira looked down. I only told the truth. And that truth saved the world, Tomas said. They stood in silence. Then, for the first time in a long while, the stars didn't feel so far away. They felt like a promise. 6 months later, a small group of schoolchildren visited the Nova Diner, the same place where it all began. Their teacher pointed to the corner booth. This is where Myra gave the warning, she said. The waitress who noticed what others didn't. A little girl asked, did she really fight aliens? The teacher smiled. Yes, but more than that, she believed what she saw. She spoke when no one else would. The kids nodded with wide eyes. A picture of Mira and Tomas hung on the wall, simple, honest, and full of meaning. A small plaque read. It started with one voice. It ended with all of us